Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I'm back. Phew. Had to step into the shadow for just a moment and just feel, my guides have really been pushing me to share my story. And they have been for 2 years. And part of sharing my story is talking about all of it. And, today I kind of put some pieces of the puzzle together, is because if we can't talk about the shadow, if we can't talk about being human and what's happening in the human experience, we are not going to be able to balance the dark and the light within. And, yesterday I shared some things on my Instagram, and I didn't share them yesterday, but yesterday I knew the resistance was going to come. I knew comments were going to be made. But the thing is, if we are not talking about what's happening in the human experience right now, we are not able to shine a light on the things that needs healing. We have to be triggered in order to heal. So how do we do that? A major aha moment for me is, it's been hard for me to relive those moments that changed my life forever, because they are so painful. And when you speak about it, you bring it into it in existence, and it makes it real, and it hurts. Like, it fucking hurts. It hurts because we're human. It hurts because we're good people that bad things have happened to. And not being able to speak your truth is still part of the program that needs to come down. And one of the biggest things that I'm seeing, like in the Lightworker community, and if we're not calling each other out with what we're seeing and holding each other accountable, how are we going to ascend? So, like, one of the biggest things that I'm seeing is, people that have a mass leading or following are telling people to just not think about it, because if you don't think about it, it won't be in your experience. Well, okay, maybe. But if we're here to help humanity ascend, what about those that do not know how to master that skill? We are doing an injustice to those that don't know. We are doing an injustice to those that are under the spell. And I have chills all over me. We are doing an injustice. So, I have to face fear head on. I have to, in order to be able to figure it out for myself. And if I'm not facing fear head on and being not attached to a certain outcome and allowing everything to kind of fall into place, I'm not able to help those that are behind me. I'm not able to help those that I'm helping. Okay? We can't just turn our backs. Those that need us the most are the children. And we must talk about these things in order to help the weakest in our society. And if we are not shining that fucking light on the injustice that's happening with them, if we are not talking and speaking about what can happen to them, what are you here for? How do you save humanity? Got chills all over me. So I have to speak truth. I have to shine truth. I have to be truth. And I have to hold myself at the same level as I'm guiding those behind me. I have to share what I've been through and still find peace. You know, so many go through the ascension process and they only show the good. You know, what about the bad that comes along with that? What about working through those things that you can't see behind those four walls? You know, one of the biggest things that I've learned, and you know, my children are such beautiful guides and they have no idea. One of the biggest things that I've learned is with our rising, this is the mask that we show people. It's not always the mask that you are. And in being able to master mind, body, spirit, you have to master the mask and being able to merge that mask within and become that and own it. You have to master that moon and own it and become it. And you have to master the sun, the soul. And I can't tell people to speak their truth if I'm not speaking it too. I have to have those uncomfortable conversations in order to shine a light on a different perspective. You know, my intentions is not to insult them. My intentions is not to be disrespectful to those that are hurt. If they signed up for that and that was their soul's mission, and those of us that are meant to be speaking and shining the light, is it all for nothing? We have to talk about these things. We have to talk about what this is doing. And we need to know, how is it happening? We need to know how it's going to affect, because the 144 and anybody that resonates with that, we gotta get it together. We gotta start thinking about the children. We gotta start looking towards the future. And how do you do that? You speak about it, you talk about it, you educate, you share. And the reason why I feel that way is because I'd give anything if somebody would have been doing the same for me and mine. You don't believe it until it happens. We're the ones they don't want sharing, because it hits a little too close to home. And right now, that should be our main focus. The things that I have seen the things that I have witnessed, my biggest fear last year was something happening to my baby, because he was the one that they were saying this could harm. And I said, I can't not fight for him. I can't not try to educate. I can't be fearful, because we know fear attracts it to us. We know these things. So I have to be fearless, and I have to put myself in front, and I have to lead by example. We teach our children by our actions. We show them. We talk to them. We listen. When I am hurt over my children, when I am feeling that disconnect, that's when my wounded side comes out. You know, having to talk about that transit for me was opening that wound right back up. It was reliving every single moment. It took me many years to be able to talk about my rape and not hurt over what that traumatic event robbed from me. And being able to talk about what it was like being married to somebody that went to war and brought that war home. Nobody ever talks about what happens behind those four doors. It's not an easy life. But it's not all my fault either. You know? I shouldn't have shame there. I shouldn't be afraid or worried or concerned to be able to talk about that point in my life, because it happened. And in knowing how traumatic things affect us, that's why over this last year, my children have been in the forefront of my mind. This is scary. This is traumatic. This is insanity. All for this. So, 14:14 on my clock. We have to come together. We have to unite. And we have to start thinking more about what's happening here to those that are having to live through the nightmare at such a young age. know what 9/11 did to me, and as a result did to my ex-husband. You know? So anyway, now that I'm back into my feminine energy, being able to talk about it. I love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.